Hello everyone, so today we're going to be talking about the fire gunner. So before I jump into the fire gunner, there was a few questions about the gear. So you can see here that I have my Black Tower ring and my Black Tower earring, as well as my this is the Black Tower neck, but this doesn't exist on the NA server. So you can see that this is stage 8, and right by having stage 8 and using 1 Nary silver, it will transfer it to the new ring at stage 8. So I'll do that now for the ring, and voila, there it is. You can see my earring is stage 4, and it will translate it directly to a stage 4. I'll do that now as well. And voila, and finally is the regular necklace as well. And transfers directly to a stage 8. I can equip them. And that's great. So that's done there. So my gunner is my most geared character on the Chinese server. So I have a stage 7 tiger bracelet, I have a ascending awakened soul, I have the accessories, I have 8-piece vortex temple. So it's relatively decent gear, relatively strong, and I quite enjoy my character. So let's jump right into it, and let's go over the fire gunner skills first, and then I'll talk about the shadow gunner in the next video. So the fire gunner has some very interesting skills. The first skill over here is whenever you use an unload, there is a chance to regain an extra unload, which is very RNG based, but fire gunner was always RNG based anyway. The second one over here is basically all of your auto attacks, like your quick shot, your block, your quick shot, your counter, and your awakened quick shot will deal additional damage. So you can see here that does 15,000 to 16,000 damage, while if I don't pick that skill, I will only deal 12,000 to 13,000 damage. So it's additional 2,000 DPS with this skill. And finally, the third skill is very interesting as well. It's whenever you use quick shot and awaken quick shot, your thermal meter will fill up faster. So what do I mean by the thermal meter? It's when you're shooting quick shot, you see this bar over here, this bar, when it fills up you get a burst bullet. So that thing will just fill up faster now. For every time you hold down RMB or you cast RMB, you will fill up more of this bar, which is pretty nice, and it allows you to have a more consistent source of burst bullets. So out of these three, personally, it really depends on what you prefer. Like, having this one is nice because every time you use a burst bullet, there's a chance of getting a burst bullet. This just gives you flat out DPS, 2k DPS with your regular quick shot. And this one just allows you to fill up the gauge faster in order to get more burst bullets. I personally don't have a preference here. I think all three of them are relatively good. So the second row over here, this one makes your projectiles move faster, because keep in mind that they have changed it so that now your skills are projectiles. So your unloads and your bullet storms and stuff are projectiles and not hit scans. The second skill over here makes your unload an AoE, so it does a small AoE. Your third skill over here makes your 2 or your normal KD or your stun into a 2-hit attack. So you're going to hit the target twice with your attack. However, it still only double CCs. And as well as your 3, where you will throw a time bomb or like a grenade at them. And I'll show you that skill now. So this is your regular stun. You'll see that you just do that and it does 2 hits. There was the second hit. There's a 3-second delay. I'll show you that again. So this is the 2. You hit him now. You hit him for a little bit of damage and wait 3 seconds and boom, it hits again. And then as for your 3, that's you just throw a time bomb at him and it deals damage, and that's it. I find it pretty underwhelming, so I personally don't use the skill. Personally, I prefer to use the unload, does AoE damage now, or the projectiles move faster. So either one of these two. The third bar is quite interesting. The first spec over here is whenever you use a hook shot or anything that consumes a hook, there is a chance of it not consuming it. Again, it's RNG based, but it's quite nice to get an additional hook. So the second spec over here is just when you do your pull down, you do more damage on your hook abilities. And then finally, this last skill is very interesting. It's every 12 seconds you will automatically reload. You will not have the animation of the reload and you won't get animation locked. However, your focus will just naturally fill up. So I'm going to show this one, as this skill is very, very useful. You're going to see here I'm gonna use up focus first. I'm gonna reload. I'm gonna use up focus, and then you're gonna notice after 12 seconds that my focus will automatically regen. So you're gonna see here, I'm just gonna stop attacking, and then at 12 seconds to 1, it automatically refills to full. So it happens every 12 seconds. So it's extremely useful because you can just keep shooting, and then after 12 seconds, let's say that, you know, your soul doesn't proc, bam, it's full again. So I really like that skill. So this skill is probably, to me, this is best in slot out of these 3 choices because I don't really use my hooks that often and I don't care about the hook damage, but having a passive reload every 12 seconds is just, it's just like a free soul proc, which is extremely nice because it just fills up your focus. The 4th bar over here, you will want to stick with this one. This is very similar to the Scorched-Earth. You do not need this one, and you do not need these 2. The reason why I say that is because these 2 skills do not proc off your bracelet. Only this skill procs your bracelet. So I'm going to show you what Scorched-Earth looks like now. Now you just throw some time bombs, and it's exactly the same effect. It's just the casting animation is a little bit different. So I'll show you the other skills just to let you see what it is, but I do not recommend them. So this one, you just shoot a couple bullets forward, that's it, nothing special. And the last skill over here, this one's a PvP skill. V is a swipe like that, and then your C is a dash like that. And it's basically bull rush on your C, and then V is, there is a similar skill as this, but I just don't remember their name because I never used it. So for this, just stick with the first spec because that's the only one that can proc your bracelet. So now comes the interesting ones. It's changes for your bullet storm. So the first spec over here, this allows you at the end of bullet storm, after you finish casting 5 of your bullet storms or 4 of the bullet storms if you have high ping, you're immediately gonna have 5 burst bullets at the end of the duration. So I'll show you that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the end you automatically have 5 burst bullets. You don't need to reload it again, you'll just automatically get 5. So that is the first spec. Personally, I don't find it that useful. I don't like this spec that much. The second spec is extremely useful for high ping players. This allows your tombstone to last for 10 seconds. So for high ping players, this is very useful because now we can cast 5 bullet storms. Now I'll show you again. I'm gonna tag the enemy with V, and now 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna delay 4, 5. So even with high ping, you're able to pull off 5 bullet storms with this spec because your tombstone lasts for 10 seconds. However, keep in mind, you still need to tag an enemy with your force skill, and your force skill only lasts for 12 seconds. As you can see here, you have 12 seconds on this target that you can use bullet storm. So even though it does last longer, you still need to cast your tombstones relatively fast. Even though I do have really low ping here, I'll delay it on purpose to show you what it looks like in high ping. V, 4, tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So even if I cast it really slow, I'm still able to cast 5 bullet storms. However, if you have low ping, this build is rather interesting because you can pull off 6 bullet storms with this. I don't know if this is a bug because it does say you can only cast it 5 times, but I've been able to cast it 6 times. So you can see here that I'm going to just cast my thing normally. V4 tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can cast 6 bullet storms with the extended tab, which lasts for 10 seconds. I'm not sure if that's a bug, but I'm able to pull off 6. And then finally, this one is my favorite. This one does not require you to reload anymore to use bullet storm. So you can just tag the enemy with 4, press tab, and then just hold down F to cast multiple bullet storms. This is by far my favorite, so I'll show you now. V4 tab, and I'm just gonna hold down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, keep in mind that with this spec of tab, with the third spec of tab, you will only be able to cast 5 bullet storms. It stops at 5. So personally, I prefer the third spec the most because it's very upfront burst and it's a very good opener. And if you know that you have a couple seconds where you can stand still and deal DPS, it's very nice. With my gear, I'm going to show you how much DPS I do as an opener with my bullet storm. So I'm going to press V for tab, just hold down F, 3, 4, 5. So you can see that I'm doing like 345k. I quite like this build because it feels good. It feels really nice to be able to cast all of your bullet storms that fast. However, it only lasts 6 seconds. I'm not sure if it'll work in high ping if you're able to pull off all 5 in high ping because you're just holding down the F button. Hopefully you can, but definitely on low ping, I really enjoy using this because I just see it as a more realistic scenario to use in raids and stuff. But definitely if you want to min-max, having the second spec allows you to pull off 6 bullet storms. And that covers the fire gunner, really. Normally, if I were to play in a PvE scenario, I would stick with either additional damage on quick shot or the faster refill on my burst bullets. As for here, I would use the AoE on my unload. Over here, I would definitely use the passive reload every 12 seconds. The next skill here, I definitely would use the Scorched-Earth skill since it's the only one that procs my bracelet. And at the last one, I used the bullet storm that does not require me to reload. And this is what my normal loadout looks like for fire gunner for my PvE spec. As usual, if you have any questions regarding the fire gunner and its awakening, please let me know in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. And again, if you like this video and if it helped you, I would appreciate a subscribe. It really does help out my channel and the growth of my channel. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you liked the video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the